All right, guys, welcome to another jam session. I've got Brent here from Gislands. We're going to unpack his entire campaign, well, a specific part of it, but we're going to get to the point where it really started to take off. Brent, awesome to have you here, brother. It was great to see your face pop up. Mate, give us a bit of a rundown on what Gislands is all about and what you do.
Yeah, so we're a software development studio. We're based in Newcastle, but we have offices sort of all over the world at the moment, and we continue to grow. So basically, we develop custom software such as web applications, mobile apps. Basically, if you want to solve your problem with technology and sort of using software to solve your problems, then that's what we do. So.
Awesome. So why did you guys first originally engage with the Influencer Project? What was going on for you prior to coming on with us?
Yeah, so that was prior to my beginning with Gislands, but I have chatted with our CEO previously, and so he started his own business, Gislands, after being in the software industry for a couple of decades. And so I guess what he was looking for with the Influencer Project was just a way and a process to build solid leads and develop the business through getting that regular income, sort of the stuff that sort of you guys talk about.
And then when did you get involved?
Yeah, so I began sort of late December last year, 2021, and so I went through all the training, caught up to speed with it, because basically he was so busy running the business, he didn't have somebody to manage the marketing, and so he had the LinkedIn strategy in place, but didn't have the capacity to give it the attention that it needed. So, since I've been able to come on board with that, we've really sort of been able to, increase our LinkedIn outreach from sort of his one profile to now up to 3 profiles.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about that transition, right? Because you were business development when you first started. You're now in the operations manager role.
Yeah.
Tell me about the transition from when you first started to get to 3 profiles.
Yeah, so when I started, he had clearly in mind like what he wanted to do with that role, and how he wanted to sort of. He knew that he wasn't given the love that he needed, and he could see that was not coming through in the whole sort of just not getting the leads from what we were doing. So bringing my profile online and then eventually increasing that to 3 profiles has really sort of built that ability to reach out. So we're basically now we've gone from 3 profiles sort of spread out across Australia to 2 profiles Australia based and 1 based in the UK, because we're expanding into that market as well.
Yeah, right. So as a business development manager, what was your take on this whole process when you first got introduced to it?
Oh, for me, it was a godsend really, because I'd sort of hadn't been in the industry before, and it was really just finding my feet. And so from a person who, and it's almost, I didn't start the business, but I was sort of in that position of, say, someone who's just started a business or started in a business. And so what it gave me was just that ability to, just know what you're doing basically with marketing and sales. It was, I was a complete beginner. And so, going through the training and so going through the training a few times as well, because you watch it once and then you learn a bit of the process, and then you actually go back and watch it again. For more little snippets, and the sort of regular training that you guys hold as well was really wonderful for us. The master classes, they were a real big bonus as well. And not only that, it's the community and feedback that we get through Facebook, through the Facebook group. So that's one thing I really appreciated with the whole process, was it's not just training and then you're on your own. It's like training and then support and support and support, and everyone online just sort of encouraging each other with the process as well. That sort of, when you have those days where there's not much coming in, you sort of have that support from your coaches to really sort of drill down into, okay, well, what's going on here? What can we tweak? And then sort of hearing from the wins of other people as well, and knowing that it's possible if you follow the process. It was really important in keeping that motivation up through the whole time. Because when we first started, we before I came on board, there was a few different options that the CEO was trying with the LinkedIn strategies, and for different products and things like that. And what the whole process we got back to was, well, we need to go back to what we actually, really need to focus on with the business. We tried a few different things, but realized that, hey, what we originally started with is what we really should stick with. So don't go chopping and changing too much. Like, have a very clear idea about what you want to do, and just sort of follow it, trust the process, basically.
Yeah. And that leads me into my next question, which is, so you landed on that one piece and you went, cool, we're going to focus on this bit. And then you let the equation of time start to take over. We're going to continue to go back to this one piece. Tell me about what happened last week.
Yeah. So last week, we followed up. So basically we grew from the 1 to 3 profiles, and with one of the profiles, we made a connection with an old business connection that a person had. And they basically got back to us throughout. We sort of were pinging them with the messages and just sort of asking them for how they're going and so forth. And they got back to us and said, look, we've got some project development we need you to do for us. So we then got on the brainstorm call and realized they were a good fit. And that followed up with a longer call where we sort of, scoped out the project completely. We submitted a proposal to them, and they accepted. So that's 17 grand project, which is actually that's just the beginning. That's the initial project, and eventually it's going to possibly grow to a much bigger piece of software. So
yeah, gotcha. That's awesome. And was it, how many times had you spoken to that person, or you had gone out to that person since you started? Do you recall?
Yeah, so I think we did the initial intro message after the connection message, and I think we'd gone out to our one of our booster call booster messages, and so just from that, it must have just put that message or put us back to the front of mind for that person, just at the right time. So again, that's part of the process. You keep sort of going with it and seeing how you go.
Do you find that it took the guesswork out? Like when you first sat in, it took all the guesswork out for you, so you knew exactly what to show up for and when to show up for it, rather than going, shit, who do I go to? What do I say? And then how do I say? What do I say?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, starting, with absolutely no marketing experience whatsoever, and having sort of those sort of specially crafted messages, and written in a way that I wouldn't have really considered before. And just even dragging out the process. One of the mistakes I've sort of learned that people make with LinkedIn outreach is just going in too soon with too much information, and it just seems really salesy. And so the connection process that we developed through the influencer project helped us to just sort of like make it more of a conversation, and it's more about sort of solving problems rather than trying to do it like a hard sell on somebody. That's one thing that I sort of struggled with in the beginning, was the idea of what do sales mean, and sort of how do you and that's one thing, and how do you sort of like get across what your services are without seeming too salesy. And that's one thing that sort of we've got through the training and the masterclasses, was really it's about being a problem solver to people. And through the LinkedIn connection process and that sort of those booster messages, it really sort of just like keeps that conversation going with people. And because you're framing the messages in a certain way, it's not seeming salesy, and it's not sort of trying to put people off. So even when you get messages back from people saying, "Oh, look, we're not interested right now, but get back to us in a month or two," having that process in place to follow up on that message, is what's sort of leading to that lead generation.
Yeah, no, it's nice to hear that's the takeaway for you, because we have that a lot. It's like, I don't want to be salesy, and it's like you bringing up salesy is the first challenge. It's then, well, now what do I do with that information? Like, it's a subjective point of view. It's like, what's salesy for you is different for someone else, right? You articulated it perfectly around conversations and solving problems. It's fantastic. So tell me, if someone was just about to start this process, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
probably just start. Because it's really well structured. It takes you, and I did basically a crash course in it. So I was sort of, did the training in about a week or so. But that meant that I had to sort of go back and rewatch things again. But for someone starting out, I think it gives you that support structure you need in place. So if you're a brand new business owner, you just started something up and you're not sure how to reach out, it gives you that structure of what messages do you put out, being really clear on what your model is and being able to articulate that well, as part of a brainstorm call or through even just through the messages as well. Support, I think, is probably the key word I think of when I think of the influencer projects, both through the training, through the master classes, and the messages that you guys respond to on Facebook. Is just you can always sort of just put it out there, and it's not just you guys as coaches either. It's the whole community. Like everyone's there, everyone's on board, and like I said before, one person's win is a win for everybody. So that's why I'm really sort of happy to share a win.
Yeah, brilliant. No, I love it, Brent. I really appreciate your time today, dude. Any last words you'd like to share with us before you get out of here?
Yeah, no, I think if you're sort of sitting on the fence and umming and ahhing about it, you really have got nothing to lose with this program. Like I said, it's been for someone with no interest, not no interest, but no experience in marketing and sales before. It has really given me not only the skills, but also the confidence too, to someone from being really nervous, starting the brainstorm scripting and things like that, and doing the brainstorm breakout classes, to now sort of being fairly confident, in having those brainstorm calls and the larger sort of calls as well. It's really sort of given me that confidence to, go out there and help people.
Awesome. I still remember your very first brainstorm breakout session too. It was actually really good for someone he'd never done it before. It was the first one. Yeah. Brilliant. So I love the fact, I think it was how you came into it was more important than what you were going to say in the call. And it's that mindset. So if you come in here to learn a thing and go, I'm just going to nail this thing, it was quite cool to watch. So, mate, awesome on how you guys have played, and congratulations again on the win.
Thanks, mate.
Legend, mate. Have an awesome day.
All right. Cheers, Max.
Bye.
I'll see you later. Bye.